etc. Our sample websites, I can begin here, is, I was just told that Harriet has sent an email that has a copy of the agenda for this training seminar, so you should be getting that momentarily. The website we're going to focus on, even though this webinar is targeted towards the club webmasters, the website we're focusing on is a district website, the District 9 website. And the reason for that is that it's very similar in a lot of ways to what you'd be doing as a club website, and we've finished it up. It's got a good variety of content, so we think that it's a good example. And if you're looking at the screen right now, you'll see the home page of the District 9 website. Basically, it's got the photos, the rotating photos. It's got the community involvement with the Texas logo on there, global impact. As I scroll down the screen, there's a featured video, there's a quick summary of news and events, there's the social media icons, and a introductory paragraph welcoming the visitors to the website. The menu bar is across the top. As you can see, it automatically opens up and gives you additional menu options. These are essentially standard options that exist for all the websites. Some of these tie into content that comes from the international site, but for the most part, this is content that you will create on your own and will give the website the personality that is reflected by your club. The content management system we've chosen to use is Sitefinity. It's a fairly robust and easy-to-use content management system. We looked at a lot of them. This one has a drag-and-drop interface, which is very easy to use. It also ties in nicely with some of the modules that we've developed to pull membership data and club lists, etc., from our database, as our original website was done in Sitefinity, so we have a lot of reusability that we can put to use. The other option, the other reason for using a content management system is that there's a uniform design template, which means all the websites will have a similar look and feel, which is good as we're trying to brand Altruza going forward. Of course, in any content management system, you do have the ability to create custom pages, which means that any club or district can add any number of pages underneath the menu options. You can put photo galleries on there. You can put news. You can put any number of things. So having a content management system and having a template does not mean you're tied into only a limited type of content. You essentially build on what's been created for you and take it from there. One of the things we do here is when a club or district decide to have a website under the altruza.org domain, we collect a number of things, and this is specified on the membership side. You can, in the international link, there is a drop-down list that has a inventory list of everything that we're looking for to build a site, and what I do is pre-build the site for you and organize all the content you've given us, and that makes it a lot easier to get a start on the site, and then for me and you to work together to do a quick training session and to get you going on customizing and putting additional content. So essentially, those are the reasons why we chose to do this way, and we've had, I think, very good success. And as you can see from the way the District 9 site looks, I think it's a very professional and nice-looking site. One of the things we added, for example, is the featured video, which if you click on it, as you can see on my screen, the video starts, and it's a very impressive way to have a feature like that on the home page. So given that, we'll be coming to how Sitefinity works and familiarize yourself with it. Sitefinity as a content management system basically pre-builds menus and creates pages that look and feel like the template. That means that you really don't have to worry about coding HTML or dealing with any of the design issues that normally come with creating a website. What you have is predefined templates that give you content areas, and your content areas are essentially text and or photos, which makes it easy to work on it and expand on it without getting down into technical details of actual website design. So let's take a look at how Sitefinity is set up. On the left side, after you log in, I should say, you get a dashboard, which is a rundown of what is on the site. Usually, it's a nice thing to have, but what we really begin with is on the Pages side. The Pages side has your menu here on the left side, which correlates to how the menu options appear on the website. If you see, we have who we are, what we do, get involved, district clubs, newsroom, etc. If you look at how the site looks, how the District 9 site looks, you'll see that there's a correlation between that as far as who we are, what we do, get involved, district clubs. So that paints the top level menu options on your menu bar. As you can see, the drop-down shows all the sub-pages within that. And if you look at how Sitefinity is set up, we have the same thing here. Under who we are, we got welcome, district history, leaders, contact Altruza. Those are the pages that appear on the actual drop-down list when you have the website. So you're probably noticing that we have a second welcome page. This welcome page is not visible, and that's one of the options that you can have with a content management system. For example, you can pre-build a page and then say, don't show it on the menu. And this could be a new welcome page that you are working with that you don't want to make public on the website. And you can keep it for reference purposes and then turn it on live at any point in time that you see fit. The next thing I'm going to look at is let's start with the home page. The home page has a number of elements, and these are essentially different than all the sub-pages. The website is created with essentially two templates, a home page template and a sub-page template. When you set up a page, you have a number of options on it. The ones we're concerned about is the view, which shows you what this page looks like, and the properties, and I'll quickly click on the properties. On the properties page, you can give it a page name, which is no different than page names that you would give to any other web page that you design. The menu label is actually what people will see in the drop-down menu. Show and navigation is set to yes or no, which means if you don't want to show this page, if you're working on it, or it's a copy of an existing page that you're tweaking before you go live, you just flip that option to no. And the page type, which is a normal page, page group, or external page, and we'll get to that later. For now, we're just going to do the normal page. When you go back to the view, let's go into the edit of this page. And what you'll see is all the sections of the page that comprise the home page. What you'll see here is you have a section called generic content. We have a couple of other home feature header, global impact, et cetera, et cetera. What this does is it lets you change content on the page, again, without having to be worried about the design issues involved with it. And I'll start with the actual title of the website. If you hit edit on a generic content item, you basically get a text box that lets you key in a text much like a Word document. At this point, in the design template, the title of the page is set to a specific font and a specific weight on that. So all you have to do is type in the title, and all the formatting is done for you. So you don't have to worry about bolding it, about making the font a certain style, making it italic or underlined. Essentially, just key in raw text, and you're done with it. When you're done with keying it in, you hit I'm done, and those changes now will be reflected on the page you're working on. However, this is still hasn't gone live, so you can work with any of these changes. When you're done, there's a publish button at the top that actually says make this live and publish this to the website. The second generic content would be the additional text that appears, and again, You don't have to worry about fonts or styling or anything like that. The most important thing is to get the text in there and make it reflect what your club or district is doing. As with any content editor, you can have certain things in here, such as links. If you want to put in a link, I'll just right-click on this and hit the link button in the toolbar. And what happens is you get a page that says, this is the page we're linking through, and you would select the page inside of Sitefinity where the link would take you. So as with any other web development tools, you can add links within the text, add images, et cetera, and I'll get to how to do some of that in a bit. Moving to the right side of the home page, normally it would be a lot of work to try to get, for example, the Texas logo and the community involvement and the button and everything else to look right on a page. What we've done for you is created a widget that is called the Home Feature Header, and once you hit edit on that, it's a simple fill-in-the-blanks approach. You can put the Get Involved page link, which says where is this link going to take us to, what is the image we're going to put on the left side of the box, what is the heading text, and what is the content text. Once we're done with that, we hit I'm done, and everything is aligned and goes in perfectly for you, and you don't have to worry about making any changes or dealing with content issues. Same thing with the home featured video. Instead of putting in all the markup that you need to put in to get a video in, we've created a widget that is called the Home Featured Video. Once you hit edit on that, you basically say, okay, what photo do I want to put in there to show on the page? What is the heading I want to do? What is the link to YouTube that is going to show the video? And if you have additional videos, there's a More Videos link, which relates to the More Videos button that exists on there, which will take you to a page. In this case, takes us to the Altruza International channel for all the videos that exist for Altruza International. So going back to that, the featured video is the heading we put here. The actual photo here is a frame that was grabbed from the video that you would select and put on there, which should be a good representative frame. And here's the More Videos link. That takes us to whatever page we need to go to. And once you click on that, it'll play in a light box that sets the focus to the video on the page. The other one is the News and Events module, which essentially we also just drop in there. As I brought up here on the screen, there are no parameters for that. What that does is it's going to do a quick summary of the news and events that have been keyed into the calendar module, and it'll summarize that for you, and we're done. The links at the bottom here, the links for all the social media, that's something you can change. And the links at the bottom as far as the Donate Now, Get Involved, and Altruza in Action, along with the privacy policy terms of use and the sitemap, those are standard links that come off the template, so you don't really have to worry about that. Once you're done with the page, which at this point looks a lot simpler to do than the whole look and feel would indicate, since you're working off of an existing template and just filling the blanks, you would just click Publish on the page, and that would publish it to the website, and that's how it would go live. So this is a page that you'll probably set up, or I'll be the one that sets this up for you based on your content. What we do is we say, okay, for community involvement, what is the text you want to put on this page? Give us a graphic, et cetera, for global impact. We also ask you what is the text you want, give us the graphic. For the rotator, we ask you to send us 4 pictures that we will be rotating on the home page. The video, you can give us the video YouTube link. You can give me a couple of events that we can key into the calendar, et cetera, et cetera. The bottom line is this is part of the inventory that we ask you to provide us for the initial build of the website, and I take care of that for you, and then I'll go over with you how to change it. But there's really not a whole lot of work that is involved on your end to get this homepage up and running, except for putting in the content that, or giving us the content that we need to create it. And this page, I'm not going to focus too much more on it because this is the homepage that once you set it up, I mean, more than likely you'll probably be just changing a photo once in a while and perhaps the text on the page. But most of your focus is going to be on all the sub-pages that exist for the website. And given that, I'm going to move to the district history. Well, actually, that's not really a good page. Let me go to, it doesn't really have that much content. But let's go to leaders, for example. The leaders page is, again, you look at it and let's go to edit this page. You look at it and say, that's a lot of formatting that needs to be done to make this page look like it does. Well, the reason it looks so consistent is because we've created a widget that is a fill-in-the-blank control that essentially lets you make everything look consistent. For example, if I look at the district officer photo, it's another fill-in-the-blanks. You put in the officer name, the title, we have their picture uploaded. We say how wide do we want the picture to be. Sometimes the pictures are smaller than the 135 pixels, so you can say, okay, we'll make it smaller just to keep it consistent. You have the affiliation here is which club you belong to. You can have 2 lines of that, and you have an email address. Once you fill that in, what happens is the Sitefinity will format that for you so that the page, and let me go bring it up on the actual website, everything is formatted nicely and consistently across that. Things are put together for you in a consistent and presentable manner. The generic content under the page is, again, the free-flowing text. So this is where you would put in, you would just type in the information related to the officer. And once you're done with that, you hit I'm done. And that gets published. And the last thing is you can put a line separator between the officers, so you give them a little bit of breathing room. And in this case, what we would do is go into something called shared content, and this is content that could appear on many pages. So we would go into select shared content, and one of the things we have on there is a horizontal line. So you would select that, and that would appear inside your generic content text box, and then you publish that, and you're done. So the key here is that we have there is content that can be reused on many pages. In this case, we're using the horizontal line. And what that does is, again, you set it up once and you can just reuse it forever, so you don't have to worry about the styling or anything like that. And some of the shared content already comes pre-built on the website for you, so that takes care of that. And as you can see, the consistent pattern here is an officer name, title, photo, which is the fill-in. I'll bring that up again just to show you, which is the fill-in-the-blanks for an officer. Then you have the generic content that is underneath that, which is more of the biographical information on the officer. And then you have the underline. And when you're done, you publish that, and it appears live on your website. So that's, along with the home page and the officers, those are some of the ways that we've simplified things as far as formatting so that people working on the website don't have to worry about spacing and consistency and font size and things like that. If we take a fill-in-the-blanks approach to a lot of these repetitive tasks, everything winds up looking very nice and very consistent throughout the website. Moving on, let me see on the leadership. Let's go service projects. Service projects is always something that can work to make your website come alive, just to the fact that we always have photos in there and additional things that show how involved your club is in the community. For example, if we're looking at the service projects page, every page has 2 sections. One of them is the title. So again, you don't have to worry about the formatting. You just key in the title, hit I'm done, and it's formatted correctly for you. If you're doing subtitles within a page, again, you're in generic content, you hit edit. What we did on this one is this one's bold. You can see the paragraph style. We put we put a bold on there, and that essentially lets it stand out on the website. Beneath that is a generic content with a photo. What we did is we took a photo, inserted it, put some text on it, and now we have the text on the left side and the photo on the right side. If you right-click on the photo, you get the properties. The properties on the photo say this is how wide it is. We are going to put a little margin. As you can see, there's a little bit of breathing room between the text and the photo. So that means we're going to put on the bottom, we're going to put a margin of 10 pixels. We're going to put a margin on the left of 10 pixels. This is where the image is, and you can basically drill down on your folders on the website and say, okay, I'm going to go into the images folder, and this is where I'm going to pick it from. Let me just close out of that, and there's a picture that was in there. And once you're done with that, you've aligned it to the right, and it's a very good-looking piece of content for the website. So that, in a nutshell, is how we go through and now we have internet, a little problem here. I'm sorry. Let me go back inside. Windows strikes again. We're logged in again. Let me just move it to the right so the page looks nice. Let's go back to the pages. We were at service project, so let's go back to that page. And let's go back into edit this page. And essentially, by dragging and dropping generic content, as they did on this page, we can put more and more content on the page. For example, let's say if I wanted to put, I'm going to actually, let's say we create a new page in here. I'm going to go into what we do, and I'm going to create a page. We won't publish it, but let's just go test page, and we'll go test page. We're not going to show it in navigation, but I'm going to go create this page. And now I'm going to select the templates. Remember, we were talking about templates. We're not going to use a home page template. We're going to do a sub-page template. And here we go. Let's say we're creating a new page. First, you would drag. You got the most popular under select the controls. On the right side, you would take generic content, drag it on the page. Do an edit. Say this is the Altruza test page. Webinar test page. I hit I'm done on it, and there it is. The title is already there. It's formatted. Everything looks very nice. I want to put some content on this page. Again, I drag and drop generic content. I go edit on there and say, we are very pleased to be running this webinar for our webmasters. Once we type that in, we hit I'm done. And there's the content. We can preview the page, see what it's going to look like. We got a new little window here, and this is what we've created so far. So that's pretty simple. Now let's say we want to put some photos on the right side. If you look at the controls on the right side, there are a number of things that Sitefinity provides you. The ones we've created, the most popular ones as far as generic content, image gallery, video, those are up on the right side. What we've done is provide you with additional ones that make things a lot simpler. For example, if we want to put a photo in the sidebar, I would drag photo in the sidebar here. I would hit edit. I would drill down into the photos on the website. Let's go, there's some photos in the right sidebar folder. Here, Garland Club Workshop. Let's choose that one. The content text, I would say, join our Altruza members for the Garland Club Workshop this year. And now I hit I'm done with it, and what we have is we have a formatted page with the caption underneath. Let's do a preview on this so far. And that's what the page looks like. And everything looks right. The image is resized and aligned. The text you keyed in has the little box around it and the different color in the background. Basically, what it does is the fill-in-the-blanks approach simplifies the placement and the formatting of the objects on the page. So as you're building this page, everything looks consistent and it works the way it should, as opposed to having to worry about alignment, HTML tags, image tags, et cetera, Everything comes along nicely. So let's add another photo on the right side. Let's just do another one here just to show you how it's going to look like with two photos. So again, I dropped photo sidebar. I dropped photo sidebar on here. What it has is that's just a generic image for the question mark. I can drill down into my images folder. What we like to do is put images in certain folders. For example, the home banner stuff is in one folder. The sidebar, the right sidebar is where we would collect all these pictures. Let me do Louisville Affiliate Expo, for example, and Expo, I type that in, I hit I'm done, and now we have that photo, again, aligned, proportioned, and looking great on this page. I do a preview. This is what the page looks like so far. And you can preview, obviously, as many times as you want to make sure you're working on it correctly. And there's what the page looks like. So I'm going to close that out, and let's say at this point I'm going to publish it. So it's sitting on the what we do. I can go into the properties. As you notice, that show navigation is false. So if I'm looking at the what we do page, let me just refresh the leadership. You can see that the test page is not showing for the district. And if I go and now say show in navigation, yes, we're just going to briefly show it, and then we're going to take it out because obviously we're working with the live district website. If I do what we do again, there's our test page, and now it's live on the web. So I'm hoping that this was a fairly easy example on how quickly you can add content to the website without actually having to put a lot of work into it. One of the things I wanted to also focus on is if we look at service, let's go back to service projects. What is really nice about the way Sitefinity handles the website is that, or how it lets you edit the web pages, is a lot of other content management systems, when you want to edit content for a page, just have one big giant text box where you have to key in all of your text. The service projects here page is an example of how Sitefinity handles it in a much better way. Every single piece of content is just a small generic content text box that appears on the page. What this does is let you work on separate sections of the page and delete certain sections of the page or add them in the order you want to add them without having to work with one big giant document. And this makes it a lot easier to do, especially on a page like this. Imagine if you had to do all of this inside of one editor to try to get all of this to look right. It would just be very difficult. If you're looking at it from the Sitefinity point of view, you just create a lot of little generic content management modules. And what that does is let you work with content with small bits and pieces at a time. You can build it up over time, and it's much more manageable and a lot easier to use. For example, the other thing is if you wanted to move content on the page, let's say you wanted to take this content and move it up, I'm hoping you can see this in the on the webinar. You basically just drag and drop the content in any place on the website, and that's how you get it to appear anywhere you want. So eventually, if you want to take a piece of content and move it from one section to another, it's very simple to do that. You just drag and drop it. And I'll show that as an easier way, going back to the test page we created. Let's say we edit this page and we want to say, you look at it and say, no, you know, I want the Louisville Affiliate Expo photo to be at the top. I will just take the Affiliate Expo photo, drag and drop it, and let it go. And now let's do a preview. And the whole content of the affiliate photo with the photo and the text below it now appears above the Garland Club workshop, which was previously below. So there's a lot of things are built in for you, and to make it very easy to move and manipulate content on the page without having to actually get into the HTML or get into the markup language to make these things happen. On that note, I'm going to look at, do we have any questions coming in? Or let me answer a few questions here. We're half hour into it. So one of the questions, do all videos and photos need to be hosted someplace, or you can upload from personal computer? Right now, we are just linking to the YouTube link on an uploaded uploaded video. The reason for that is there are so many video formats, and YouTube does a great job of just creating a standardized format for the videos. However, that's one thing that other people have asked, and yes, we will be able to just have the video on as part of the website space that you have and run it from there without uploading it to YouTube. However, it will have to be converted into a standard. I believe we're either going to go with SWF or FLV format, which will keep everything consistent, and that's the one format we're going to do. There's millions of them. There's the Apple QuickTime format, there's AVIs, there's WMVs, et cetera, et cetera. And once you start mixing all these formats and the different codecs that are part of it, it makes it extremely difficult to get anything to work consistently. So what we're going to do is just standardize on either SWF or FLV, which is the Adobe format, and we'll take it from there. For the standard items in the footer, where does that information go as far as donation? So let me just take a look at the footer. Those links are links that go to the Altruza International website. However, those can be changed inside the template, but some things on the website will link to the international site. But if there are, for example, if you have something, you know, like recent projects, Altruza in Action, you want to go to a specific page, that's something you can do. Will there be a guide available for making changes? There, inside the international drop-down link after you log into members.altruza.com or altruza.org, there is a whole manual on Sitefinity. It looks a lot more difficult than it is. It's a fairly easy walkthrough on how all these things work. It's a PDF document. I think it's got about 30 or 40 pages. Feel free to take a look at it. Well, my experience has been that after I've set up these sites for, you know, whether it was District 9 or District 6 or District 12, a quick half-hour training session over the phone and you're off to the races. I mean, it's not, I know it sounds overwhelming and daunting at first, but it's not anywhere near that. I think you'll find working with this is very simple, especially if we pre-build it for you and we get you started on making simple changes. And then, you know, you can add a page and work from there. But for the most part, you'll be adding photos and text, and that's very easy to do. Yes, it does work with all browsers. The question was, does this work with all browsers? Yeah, we're running it under Mozilla Firefox, but it'll work in Chrome and in Internet Explorer. Sometimes if there is a rendering issue somewhere along the line, we can take a look at it and see what the style sheet issue is that is causing that, so I can take a look at it and make any tweaks that are necessary. As you know, as these browsers get upgraded, sometimes things don't look 100% as they did on the previous version, but we've really not had any issues so far in the different browsers on this. The cost, what is the cost per club to use this? You can contact Harriet on that as far as setting up the website. Our social media links editable so they can go to our club or international if we don't have something there. Yes, they are. That's something you can change in the templates for the website. You basically just point it to your club or district Facebook page, LinkedIn page, et cetera, et cetera. So that's all flexible. Can we copy and paste from Word and Excel? Yes, you can. And actually, that's a very important point because what happens is, and I'll go to a quick example right now. When you're working with Word and Excel, there's a lot of garbage that it gets generated inside of Word with fonts and styles and things like that. So what I'm going to do is just let's drop a generic content in here. And I don't have a Word document, but let me just bring up a random page here on the internet, just copy and paste from that. But it'll be, let's just go to Google News or something like that. And bear with me here for a second. All right, here we go. Let's just do this. Let's say this is your Word content. I'll just take it out of here and close this out. And now you're in your generic content. You're editing the page. What happens is there is a widget, or there's an item on the menu bar that says paste plain text. And I think you'll find that you'll be using that a lot. What that does is you get a window, and well, actually, it pastes what's in here already. Hold on a second. Let me paste from Word, strip font. What it does is essentially it lets you strip out and paste only the raw text and the line feeds or the carriage return line feeds, the new line breaks, etc., and strips out all of the other formatting that comes with Word. So it's a really nice way to just paste things, paste the plain text, and not have to deal with trying to clean it up later. You'll find that you'll be using that a lot. I mean, when we build the websites, we ask to get all your content inside a Word document as far as, what your home page message is going to be, your service projects, et cetera, and then that's what I use to strip out all the Word formatting and just paint it as plain text. Because ideally, that's all you want to do is put in plain text and then let the content management system and the template format it for you and get all of the font size and everything right. So this is what we did. I'm sure whatever came off of that page was rich in HTML, stripped it down, and we just have plain text. Is there a calendar option for the news and events? I'll get to that. That's going to be in the module section, which we'll be getting to. Is there an advanced option to ask members to submit meeting RSVP information through the website? I think that is something that we would be building on the membership side and not on the actual club or district website. And the reason for that is we really want to strip out or separate the content that is related to the presentation of the club or district website and not mix that in with content related to the actual members. What we had in a lot of the websites that exist out there right now, there are documents, there are forms, there are a lot of things that are related to the actual membership functions of the website that are mixed in with the public side of the website, and that it's just confusing, and it just doesn't look that good if we're trying to present a brandable message, a brandable Altruza message. So what we're doing is we're building out the membership side and having all the content related to districts and clubs appear in the membership side. And let me digress on that for a second here. If you've noticed there in the international drop-down, once you log into the membership side, there is a shared file manager for clubs and districts. And what we have there is the ability for any club or district to upload information related to their club or district into a file manager and to build folders, et cetera, for that, so you can take all the forms, all the district service bulletins, all the club newsletters, anything you can possibly have that's targeted to your members, and take that and put it on the membership side and have your members do access to it. What that does is it gives an organized, it creates an organized area for all of the club and district-related documents to exist behind a password-protected area. So in case you publish anything that has member names, addresses, emails, et cetera, we are basically can hide that and don't have to make that on the public side. One last question here was, what about pages and numbers from my Mac? I'm not quite sure what that question really means. I mean, if you're talking about documents, you know, you can create PDF files out of them, but I'm not quite sure what that relates to. Perhaps that's something that we can talk about afterwards. All right, so moving on, we've gone through the basics of a page. Recapping, most of the time what you're going to be doing is just creating text and photos. We've been able to drop photos on the sidebar. We've been able to create text. One last thing I want to show you is the way they did it for Service Project. How do you insert a photo on a page? And what I'll do is say, I'm going to click on the image button on the editor here. I'm going to go into, let's see, well, let's just go into right sidebar. I'll just take a photo from there. Painting the town pink. I will insert that. Now it appears in here. I right-click. I do properties. I'm going to say, I'm going to align this image on the right side. Since it's on the right side, I'm going to have to put a little bit of padding on the bottom and on the left to give the page some breathable room. It's kind of wide, so what I'm going to do is 289 is really too wide, so I'm going to shrink it down to 150 pixels. And it'll resize it proportionally because I didn't put in the height. And now I have that on the page. It's been resized. It's adjusted on the right side. And if I do a publish, I'm done. Our generic content module now, or generic content section of the page, let me preview that, has a little photo on there that is flush right. The text wraps around it. And we've resized it to make it smaller and make it more proportional to the text we're actually using. So I think overall, I mean, it's fairly easy to do these things. I'm hoping you agree with me. Moving on to the next section of the, let me just publish this to the site so we have something to go on. There's a couple of sections here, like for example, the Get Involved page, how to form it. Let's take a look at how to form a club. How to form a club is a page that actually brings in content from the Altruza International site. If we edit this page, there's a module here that says Get External Page Content. Again, it's a fill in the blanks. What we're saying is, here's the link on the main Altruza page. Grab the content from this specific page and show it here. What that does is allow us to have one content base for many different websites. For example, we may have information that we'd like to have appear on all the club websites. By having you pull the content from the international site, we don't have the situation where we have to key it in on all the sites. I think one of the best examples is when we go to events and calendar, we have the 2013 convention. This page, again, like that other page, is built from excuse me, content that comes from the main Altruza website. So as the main Altruza website is updated with more and more information related to the 2013 convention, that'll automatically appear on your website without you having to do anything. So there's a very good reason to do these types of things. It keeps the consistency in the information across the websites the same. One last thing is, for example, Contact Altruza. That one's a little different. What that lets you do is put in your own information along with pulling information from the Altruza site. For example, this page is set up where the external page content module pulls our information from the international site, and then on the right side here you can put your own specific content on contact information for your club or district. And when we pull content from an external website, we can mix it with our own content, as is evident in this example. So any page can have any mixture of things that exist both on the international site and anything else you want to add on your site. So that essentially takes care of, generally takes care of how this works. Let me move on to modules. Modules, somebody asked about the events. There is an events module, and the events module has any number of events that will appear for the website. For example, let's take a look at District Conference for Waco. Let me do an edit on this event. Basically what happens is it's a fill-in-the-blanks approach. You put in a title, you put in a description. It asks for a lot more information. Usually we leave this blank because it's just too much to key in. I mean, especially since this is going to be targeted to people that are part of the club or district. We don't need to go overboard on this. Usually it's a lot easier to just put in the contact information, et cetera, inside the summary as opposed to filling in the blanks here. So we recommend you fill that blank. There's an event start date, event end date, publication date, and expiration date. What happens is events will show up on the website until after the event. They will not show up until there's a publication date. And what does that look like? Let me just go to the events and calendar page. And here's the events and calendar page for the district, and there's the information on the district conference for Waco, Texas. It's got the summary of the start and end dates, and here's the content as it appears on, let me just go back here, as it appears inside the text box here. So what you can do is you can have the events modules will essentially drive this page. This page will put breaks in between months. If something like half-year dues lasts for a long time, this will obviously stay around until March 31st or April 1st until it expires. At that point, this whole December section will disappear. Items will appear as you key them in. Will automatically drop off the page as they expire. So that's essentially how the events module works. It's fairly simple. Again, fill in the blanks, just key it in, and let Sitefinity do the rest. Let me cancel out of here. There is a file. One of the things I want to do is also look at the file manager. If you're wondering how this is all set up internally, for those of you that have worked with uploading things to your existing websites and things like that, obviously there's a root folder and everything exists under there. The file manager at Sitefinity lets you take a look at how the whole layout of the website works. Basically, most of these folders contain the things we need to run the website. The folders that really you should be working with are the images folder, newsletter, PDF. Those would be the three that actually have the content that you would upload. I mean, you can also create your own folders, but please don't change anything in the existing system folders, and those are outlined in the Sitefinity document as far as what's off limits. But for example, for District 9, we created one folder that's got directors, and if you drill on that, that's basically all of the officers and directors that appear on the Who We Are page or on the leadership page. Another folder is just got district conference information and district conference logos. The home banner. This is the page that has the rotation images. what you do is upload the images, give them a specific size, give them a specific name, and that's the 4 images that will rotate on your home page. So you don't even have to set anything up for that. Just call them home rotation image 1 through 4 as they're set up here, and that's something that I would set up in the initial website build. If you want to change out rotation image 3, then just upload a new image, give it a name, home rotation image 3, and then that goes into the cycle. The other item here is actually your district logo, which has your district name. Home sidebar is, these are a few of the things that appear on the home page in the sidebar. The right sidebar are the photos that we were playing around with that would appear on the right sidebar. What we really encourage you is to make as many folders as possible inside of images. We've seen websites where people just pile on tens or hundreds of images all in one folder. It makes it really hard to manage that. It's a lot easier if you just group them into logical folders, and then when you're looking for it, drilling down, it's a lot quicker also. There's also, as far as naming conventions go, if you look at the right sidebar, Google really recommends to just have dashes between names on images. A lot of people put in blanks, or you see things like %20, you know, weird characters. We really discourage that because it just makes it a lot harder for search engines to go and find these things. The easiest thing to do it is just use a word, a dash, and another word, and then it's very readable. Google likes it. It gets indexed correctly, and things just work out a lot better that way. So this is essentially just a rundown on the file manager. For example, the images master folder, this would be something that's off limits. These are the actual images that are used in the templates. So we really don't want to change those, because if you change those, then you could really alter the look and feel of the website. These are basically standard things. What District 9 did is put in their newsletters into a special folder, and then they have links to all these newsletters. So that's something that you can do, and put any content you want inside of these folders that are part of the website. The PDF folder is another one that has PDF content, PDF files, etc. So that's also a folder that you can use. The Sitefinity folder is, I'll just drill down into that, but that's just a ton of stuff that has names like service assemblies and CMS entry point and all that, so you really want to just stay away from there. So that's essentially what the file manager lets you peek into that. One of the things people ask for is, can you FTP into the site? If you're familiar with that, that's just a way to get content from your laptop into the site without having to use a file manager. Yes, you can. You get a login on that, and you can basically use FTP to upload things. So if you have 20 or 30 photos, you can basically upload them that way. One of the things you can do is you can also upload it here. So if you want to do, let's say you're in images and you're going into the right sidebar and you want to upload things, if you hit upload files, it's a standard type of file upload dialog. You basically select things off of your hard drive and then upload them into the specific folder. So that essentially takes care of that. In the administrative, there's a couple of other modules actually. I want to just go over that. There's a blogs module that lets you create your own blog if you like to do that. I think I've got a couple of sample blogs. You can just drop it on a page and basically start adding content to that. Let's say, for example, if you're in the district governor's blog, you can go in here and you can create a post, and then those posts would, I think I got a test blog post here. So those are the posts that would appear if you want to create a blog for your club or district. And you can have a district governor's blog. You can have club president's blog, club treasurer's blog, whatever. You could also have forums on there. The thing with forums is you probably, if you want people to post on that, you probably need to moderate it. So sometimes it really becomes more work than it's really worth. There is the ability to send out newsletters through Sitefinity. You can create a subscription list and then basically go in. The message here says we don't have this set up to send out email, but we can set it up. You can set up a newsletter. If you look on the right side, you can have subscriber groups, and put in people and use this as a way to send out newsletters to your club members or district members. There's a wiki. I mean, I'm not going to get into that. It's there. If somebody ever wants to use it, you can just contact me and we can go over that. There's also a news page, which sometimes it's easier to just create news articles and then use the news module on the that's built into Sitefinity, which essentially just formats it in a consistent manner. But a lot of clubs and districts are just using generic content and dropping it on that. So again, if you want to use it, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. It's a nice little feature, but we can, you can just contact me and we can go over that privately. Finally, on the administration side, this is where you would go and you can create a site search index, which essentially does your search on your public site. That's what we have on here. There are RSS feeds. I'm not going to get into that. I want to get into too technical, a lot of these technical things. You can assign users for your site, basically change, assign passwords and things like that. For example, if you go to my profile, logged in as admin, and there's a change password link, so I can change the password for the Sitefinity login on the website. So those are the few things here and there that you can do. Another thing is going back to the drag and drop on the pages. If you want to move the order of the page, you can just, I don't know if you, hopefully you can see this. I'm going to take this page and drop it in under leadership. And now what we have is leadership test page, service project, global impact. What that does is let you take a page and change the order that it appears on the drop-down menus. So a lot of this, the drag and drop functionality, is not only is it extended to the page editing, but it's extended to managing the whole site map and things like that. So I think that for the most part, I've tried to just give you the highlights of Sitefinity and how it works. I'm looking to answer. Let's see. I'm looking at some of these questions. One of them is, will content be the same for club websites? I'm looking at how to form a club. How to form a club, there is a page on the international site. And using that get external content, you can just, for your form a club page, you can just use whatever's on the international site. If you don't want to do that, you can create your own how to form a club page and put your own content on there. It's really how do you want to present that page. It's a good starting point to just use what's on the international site, but if you have specific messages you want to put, or you have a specific membership drive or anything you want to focus that's related to your club or district, I mean, feel free to just create your own content for the how to form a club page or any other page that pulls content from the international site. Can you put a Flickr account instead of putting folders photos? Yes, I think there is as part of the media links at the bottom. I think Flickr is, the second one is Flickr, I believe. So you can just link to a Flickr page and do that. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but feel free to contact me directly regarding that, and I can answer that or see what concept you have in mind on integrating Flickr with your club or district website. Yeah, can you use an established blog with a link instead of starting a new blog? Yes, you can. That's not a problem at all. Basically, the reason, what happens is if you use an established blog, then the search would not be really integrated into the existing website, or whatever you post on the blog the search would not obviously find it in your club or district website. But if you already have a blog that's out there that is full of content, sure, use it. The blog option inside of Sitefinity is just for people that want to keep their blog within the template of the existing website. Is there a secure part for members only? That's something that really, your content from your existing website gets moved to the membership portion of the altruza.org website, and within the shared file manager, that's where all of your content would be for your club members or district members. So the site per se is essentially a public-facing website. So if you have content that is just for your club or district, you would really have your members log into the members.altruza.org under the international tab, go in and find the shared file manager for district or clubs, and that's where all your content would be for your members. My contact for working on the website is you can just email Harriet or LaTanya. They'll give you that email address. I'll be more than happy to get back to you, and then we can just chat on the phone and discuss your specific needs. How do you delete the social media references if your club doesn't use them? Well, what we have is if the club doesn't use the social media, then the links under social media link to the international side. And I think that what we want to do is keep the links to the international social media so that if you only have a Facebook page and you don't have YouTube, if you click on YouTube, it actually goes to the Altruza channel on YouTube. If you would have your own, district YouTube channel, then you could do that. But I think it looks a lot better when all of these social media links actually point to something. However, if you have a reason for removing social media links, I think you'd have to talk to Harriet about that and, see how the policy goes on doing that. Let's see, will our members have logins for our club page so that we can add our membership directory on our page securely? The membership directory for a club is really inside the members.altruza.org. There is a search feature in there where you can search and drill down by club. There is the ability to look at rosters. If you want to have a roster as part of your the pages that you log in after you get into members.altruza.org, we can add that for you. And I think that's something you want to contact me directly on. It's really not a big deal to throw that on there. We're trying to keep the private information away from the public website. So just contact me directly, and we'll build it for you. Does every club expected to use this template, or is it just for districts? The template is generic enough that it can be, for example, if you're looking at let me just go back on the district page, the district clubs, does she have them on there? Here's a list of the district clubs for District 9. They're listed this way, and this is the contact information. Obviously, the district clubs link wouldn't exist for the club page. The club page would just be for that club. Let me show you what District 12 did for all the clubs. One of the options is if you don't want to build out a full site for every club, what District 12 did is created essentially a two-page mini page for each club. So let's take a look at Albany, Oregon. They have two pages. They have club news, and this is the quick club news page. And then they have the club information page, which has all the contact information, where do we meet, who the officers are, board of directors, mission statements, service projects, fundraising, et cetera, et cetera. So one of the options is you have a district and there are clubs that just don't have the personnel or just don't have enough content to fill up a complete club site. You can basically piggyback on the district site and do what District 12 and I think District 6 are doing the same thing, is under the district club link, we have all of the clubs have their own little 2 or 3 pages, and then it's a district webmaster that updates information on that for the club. So the options, you have a couple of options here. Obviously, you can create your own full-blown club website, or you can just piggyback on the district side. Either way, it works, and it has a consistent look and feel and gets the information about your club or district out on the web. So it's a win-win situation. Yes, can we use the forward link on our current domain, the Sitefinity one? Yes, if you have a link such as sanantonioaltruza.org, and that obviously would be, or sanantonioaltruza.org, and that obviously would go to sanantonio.altruza.org to become part of the altruza.org domain. Yes, you can do that. If you have a domain that's called, Altruza Club of Dallas, just picking these out of thin air, .org, you can have Altruza Club of Dallas.org point to, Dallas.altruza.org. So that's not a problem at all. I'm a club and district webmaster. What is the rollout schedule for this product? There is an inventory sheet on the membership side. Once you log into members.altruza.org, there is one of the menu options is on related to rolling out the website. There is an inventory list that tells you what we need to collect. In a nutshell, it's basically the 4 photos on the home page, the little statement on get involved, the video, or if you want to put some photos on the home page, what your heading will be, what your text will be on the home page. Then we ask you for your pictures of your officers, your club information, et cetera, et cetera. It's a whole laundry list of things. And basically, you just need to create a zip file with that in it. You can use a Word document to put all the text in it, all the text from all the different sections that we need. And then from that, I go and build out the website from the template and give you a training session, and we're good to go. Usually the turnaround on getting something out the door, once we receive the content and all the content is there, is about a week. So it's relatively quick to get it done. The one thing that I do ask for is that all the content is organized and presented at one time. I'll be glad to review it and take a look at, if you have any questions on it. But we do want to have everything submitted in its entirety before we begin. So.
This is Harriet. I want to add to that. Actually, I know that sometimes compiling the information can be a little daunting as well. When I look at the PDF that is online, I see pixels and my brain just explodes. And so that's where LaTanya can assist if you are having challenges pulling the information together the way it's specified in the PDF. You can work with LaTanya and send your JPEGs of your images and your information in Word documents, but make sure that you have all of it, even though it may not be sized the way that it needs to be, and then she can put it together the way it needs to be for George in order to put your website together.
So, yeah, we try to make this as easy as possible, as Harriet explained, and LaTanya has been great in just getting involved on these things and putting it all together. So it's really just the homework on your side is to just get the content together and pull the public content from your existing websites, get the photos, get the captions, et cetera, and just organize that so that we can take it from there. One last thing is there a deadline to be able to opt in? No, as soon as you have it ready, I think you would just contact Harriet, let her know you're interested, and we get the ball rolling. So the more we can get, the more websites we can get under this, the better it is. There's really almost limitless space as far as how much content there is. It really doesn't take up that much room. We have a dedicated secure server that we use for this that only has the Altruza website content on it, so it's not like we're using a shared hosting provider or anything like that. We have a physical server at a hosting facility, and the only content on there is the Altruza content. So there's a question here about contact info. I think the easiest thing is just email Adriana, and she can give you the contact info for myself and for Harriet and LaTanya. And feel free to just send me an email with any questions you have. I don't have a problem with calling people back and just talking, chit-chatting about this stuff. Sometimes it's a lot easier and a lot quicker to just answer questions over the phone than to go back and forth on emails. 10 questions can take 5 days to get answered on email, whereas the same 10 questions could take 10 minutes to get answered when you're on the phone with someone. So I think that's it. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, there are a lot of other topics we can cover, but I think in a nutshell, I'm hoping that I was successful in showing how easy it is to work with InsightFinity, how the drag-and-drop interface within a template alleviates you from the headaches of having to deal with layout issues and consistency issues, how things like the photos on the right sidebar and the officer information using a fill-in-the-blanks approach where you just say, this is the text, this is the link to the image, I'm done, you drop it on a page, everything's formatted, how that'll save you time. And of course, if there are things that are not within this template, if you want to do additional pages related to anything else, we're open to suggestions. I mean, you're not limited to how we laid this out. All of this, grows as time goes on. And if you have ideas that that you'd like to implement, I'm more than happy to talk to you about them and help you implement them. As far as the membership content, we really would like to have that all under the members, altruza.org, inside the shared file manager. If you log in, you'll see it's under the international. There's one for district and clubs. Some districts have, I think District 9 has really implemented it fairly thoroughly as far as having their content on there. If there are additional features on the membership side that you would like to have implemented, send me an email. We can build it for you. I mean, in the end, the point is to have a robust functioning portal for memberships so that they can communicate and find information. So if something that is not available on there that you have in your current member section of your website, drop me a line and we'll talk about it and we'll get it in there. One of the things we want to do is have the ability to send bulk emails to all your membership within the membership site, so that's just about ready to get rolled out. Essentially, you would roll in, you would look at, let's say you're a district governor or a club president, you'd see what your membership list is, and you'd say, I want to send an email to all these people, bulk email, and you'd go in, type in a message, and you could do it all through the membership portal. So those are some of the things that we're looking to implement. And on that note, I thank you. Oh, we got a couple of more. Yes, one of the question is that membership portal is defined by your email address. Right, that's where you go to members.altruza.org and key in your email and your password. In that example, yes, my email address tells you which club I'm in and which district I am. That is correct. That's how based on how you log in, we know what district and club you begin to, and that's when you go into the district and club, the shared file manager, we know what content to serve up. No, as far as districts or clubs that you're not aligned with, no, you will not be able to see that. You will only see one district and one club under the shared file manager, and that would be the district and the club that you belong to. For events, can we accept payments through our website? Not now, but that's actually something that wouldn't be a bad idea to implement. When you're ready to go live with that, with your website, we can talk about it. Usually the interface is through PayPal. I mean, for international here, we use Authorize.net as our credit card processor, but I doubt that clubs and districts are going to be spending $30 or $40 a month to have a dedicated credit card processor. So yeah, we can throw a PayPal interface in there, or Google Cart, or we can talk about it and just throw it in there. I mean, it's not a big deal. Those widgets actually exist for other sites I've worked on, so dropping it in there is not a big deal at all. And that's about it, I guess. I'm trying to think of what else we can talk about here. We're done with the questions. So thank you again for being a part of this. I hope it wasn't too overwhelming. I know I went through things relatively quickly, but there's a lot to cram in. And Adriana, if you need my contact information, just email her. She'll send you that, and we can talk further. So thank you very much, and we'll be in touch.